Welcome to the interview on France 24. Our guest today is a woman that bears quite a number of symbols. Talking about her is tantamount to talking about rights of men and women, most particularly in the Arab world and the Muslim world. The Sudanese journalist Lubna Ahmed Al-Hussein has become the symbol of women's suffering in the Muslim world. Welcome to France 24.
Hello, and thank you for inviting me.
Mrs. Lubna, is it true that you are now banned from traveling outside of Sudan, and is this ban both official and legal?
Yesterday, I went to the airport in Khartoum to travel to Beirut, where I was invited by a television network, but much to my surprise, I was told I was not allowed to travel. I didn't see any official document to that effect. All I was able to read was a piece of paper. I believe this is an illegal ban because the freedom to travel is in the Sudan Constitution of 2005 in Article 42. Furthermore, the authority that prevents me from traveling is the accusing party. The document was signed by the police, by Colonel Abu Bakr Ashek, and that's who's judging me too. The only competent authority in this matter is the judge of the case or the Minister of the Interior, and it applies only to serious crime or financial crime. Apparently, in Sudan, wearing trousers is a serious crime.
Your trial started end of July and was adjourned twice and is now going to be taking place in September. How did all those problems arise?
It all started with a pair of trousers. On Friday, the 3rd of July, I was in a restaurant in Khartoum, the Khartoum restaurant, where there was a full room of 300 to 400 people. There was a party with an Egyptian performer, and all of a sudden the police burst into the restaurant and arrested women and girls wearing trousers, and I was one of them. We were taken to the police station, and there they held an initial screening with a catwalk, a fashion show of sorts, to select those wearing trousers that were offensive under Article 152 of the Sudan Criminal Code of 1991. After this catwalk screening, 6 women were freed and 9 were charged with indecent exposure. We were in a restaurant with a lot of people, and I did not offend anyone. I don't see how I offended the police. That's my question. On Sunday, the 5th of July, we were asked to appear before a public order court. And I don't think there are such courts elsewhere in the world in this century. In the 21st century, you can't conceive of such a court with just a judge and a police officer. The police officer was the party who arrested me, who's accusing me, and who's the witness. This is something that you can't find anywhere else in the world besides Sudan. It violates international rules. It violates the Sudan Constitution and the peace agreement between North and South. But it happens regularly. According to official statistics, not statistics presented by the opposition, the director of the General Police confirmed that the number of victims, women arrested in 1 year, in 2008, amounted to 43,000. This data was published in an Arab newspaper. So this is an illegal court of justice. It's anti-constitutional. The law violates the Constitution. So it's not about being innocent or guilty, of how tight-fitting the pants are, or what piece of clothing I'm wearing. This is a legal battle.
Some people are saying that this is inspired by Sharia law, the Islamic law.
This is my question in this matter. Who can tell me that Article 152 that punishes this with flogging is based on Islamic law? Show me the hadith or the Quran verse and tell me whether the authenticity is confirmed or low. Islam does not acknowledge such punishment, flogging a woman because of clothing.
Repression of women is pervasive in European debates. Recently in France, great contentious debates took place over the burqa, and some consider this as a tool to punish women and prevent them from playing important roles in society. Talk about women's conditions. What or how should we promote women's roles in society?
In my opinion, regarding burqa, from what I know of Islam, well, if you look at Mecca, the source of Islam, and the pilgrimage to Mecca, women don't wear a full veil. I hope I'm not mistaken. In my opinion, Sudan is a multicultural, multi-ethnic country. You can't legislate on that. Prior to 1991, there was no criminal code or other legislation saying what women should wear. Before that, did women go around naked? Of course not. So society should be the judge. It's a social phenomenon, not a legal one. It shouldn't be the police or the government to decide. Women in Sudan, since the 60s, have been enjoying greater progress than in other Arab countries. It's the first country where women were allowed to vote and run for election since the 60s and 70s. We even had a woman minister back then. Currently, there are several women ministers in the central government or the regional governments, both. As to social mobility, women play an active, important role. They are found in every profession. But it's a problem with a law that sets restrictions on women's liberties. The social situation is not in line with those restrictions. Imagine 43,000 women arrested for what they were wearing.
Your case has sparked a wave of sympathy and support in Sudan as well as in other countries. Are you going to actually bypass this flogging punishment as stipulated by Sudanese law?
The most important thing regarding, or more importantly than the flogging itself, is the stigmatization of a woman who's arrested or flogged. My case has stricken a blow to the wall of humiliation. A number of women last week were arrested on an island called Tuti. The women were arrested by the public order police. I told you about the 43,000 women arrested in 2008. Among these, not even 10 women were able to tell their families about this problem because quite often the women viewed the problem as a shame. But what happened in the island of Tuti, the women were encouraged by my case. They went home and informed their families, their relatives, their friends, their colleagues, so that they could attend the hearing. So I think my case is really striking a blow to the wall of humiliation. The women were acquitted. So this means that society realized that this is a problem with the law, not a problem with women's behavior.
Some people are saying that pressure exerted upon you aim to help you stop talking. What are the issues you're dealing with in daily newspapers in Sudan?
Actually, for 2 years now, I have not been working as a journalist anymore because of the censorship imposed on newspapers in Sudan. This is the 21st century, and you have a representative from the security authority that comes into the offices of Sudanese newspapers to read the articles and underline what needs to be censored or what can be approved. So I stopped writing in that context, and I went to work for the spokesman of the UN missions in Sudan. But last week, I quit my job so I could be free to stand for trial. In the past, the situation was better than it is now. I used to write general articles, and now I publish on the internet articles regarding women, but I no longer write for Sudanese newspapers because of my situation.
Ms. Lubna Ahmed Al-Hussein, thank you very much. Thank you for being with us today.